guys, welcome back to my channel and another Topic Tuesday here. Coming at you a little bit late because I skipped last Tuesday, so then I just pushed the topic forward because I did really want to do this topic. Today's topic is, what do you take on holiday with you to do your nails? And there was something kind of similar when I first started doing YouTube. There was a Topic Tuesday that was, I think it was like, what polishes would you take with you? This is just kind of like a more expanded and broader version of that. And so we're going to talk about it because I think a lot has changed about what I would take with me on an extended trip. And this one is actually super relevant for me because this year I have like 3 upcoming trips that I will need to bring stuff with me for. I used to go on trips quite often, both for work and for just personal like enjoyment. And then in March of 2020, I was away in Texas for a business trip for my job, and Michigan went into a state of emergency, and my job emergency recalled all of us back home. And ever since then, I have not been on a single trip or vacation or anything like that because you just can't, like it's difficult to do nowadays. But like I said, I do have 3 trips coming up this year. I've got the Polish and Beauty Expo, I have my birthday trip, and then I have to go to a wedding in the East Coast later on this year. So I got 3 fun things to look forward to. And so I figured let's do this as a little bit of pre-prep. I'm going to show you everything that I'm going to bring with me on these trips in order to do my nails or nail care or anything like that. And then I'm going to tell you at the end the things that I'm not going to bring with me, the things I'm going to omit that I would usually use in my nail care routines, and why I choose to omit those. So let's just bust into this kind of like a what's in my bag style. The first thing you obviously, or I'm going to bring, I don't know if you need to bring, is just some kind of cosmetics bag or container of some sort to hold everything, because I don't like everything just kind of loosey-goosey flopping around in my suitcase. So I like this one in particular because it's a little bit padded. It's like a thicker reinforced plastic, and I don't know, I've had this one for years, probably since I was in college, and it has served me pretty well, and it just opens up like this. And then you can see I have all my stuff in there. So let's just kind of go through everything one by one. So the first thing I'm sure you saw right on the top is way too many cotton rounds. And I pack too many of these for 2 reasons. One, I'm an anxious person. I am like that person who packs 40 pairs of underwear for like a 3-day trip for no reason. And I kind of come at these with the same mentality. It's better to have a few too many than not enough. And I could always just like run to the CVS or something like that while I'm in town, but I don't want to do that. I want to have it right there when I need it. And the last thing you want is to be halfway through with removing a manicure. You've got like little bits of cotton stuck into the remainders of your nail polish, and you've run out of cotton balls or cotton rounds or something like that. So I just like to keep a good fat stack in there. The other thing this does is you can use these like in between the bottles or just like a layer over the top like you saw me do, and that kind of helps with some extra padding. At least I have convinced myself that it does. So that's another reason why I can justify packing too many cotton rounds. The second thing I like to pack is a couple little guys full of acetone. These are pretty small, you can see, versus the size of my hand. They're not very big. And again, this is a thing that I could, of course, pick up from the CVS, but I don't like to do that when I have a gallon of acetone sitting in my closet, you know? And so the reason I have 2 little bottles as opposed to 1 slightly bigger bottle is A, it's just easier to pack these when they're this little, but B, I like to do this thing where when I'm doing my nail cleanup, I use a separate bottle of acetone for that. And then when I'm done cleaning up my nails, I dump the excess acetone back into the bottle. And so it's a little bit like murkier or cloudy just from the color of the polish, but then I can reuse that for future nail cleanings. And I don't want to use that for polish removal just because, I don't know, sometimes it has like glitter and stuff in it. I don't know. I separate the 2, and so 1 will be for actual polish removal and 1 will be for cleanup. And then, of course, for the cleanup, I like a little acetone cup. I have this tiny one. This is the one that I used to use all the time. So if I went on a trip, I would have to pack this one and then set it back out when I got home. But now I have this big fancy gargantuan one from Twinkle Tea with like the big jewel piece that sits in there. And so this has kind of officially retired as my official acetone cup. And this is my kind of travel one instead. And it's smaller, so it's easy to carry around. And you don't need that much acetone for cleanup. So this is the perfect size, to be honest. And then as you can see in my bag, there's like this little like net here where I put kind of like the thinner or smaller stuff. And we have my cleanup brush. Now, I only have one cleanup brush at any given time. This one is from KB Shimmer, and I did pick this up from Beyond Polish. Use code MEDIOCRE if you want to save a little bit of money. But I like this one so far. It's lasted me, and since it's the only one I have to pack this one with my stuff. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. You need a cleanup brush. I feel like I can usually paint my nails in such a manner that I really don't need to clean up my nails, but there's always just that one time where you're just feeling too confident and then you get it everywhere. So I do like to have my cleanup brush with me just in case. Okay, this is a weird one that I'm sure most people will not have in their specific travel bag. It is a twice folded piece of paper towel. I have a very specific routine for every single thing in my life, and painting my nails is no exception. I always have to have a piece of paper towel that is folded in half and then folded in half again, as this one is here. It's just like I need that or I cannot paint my nails. And what I use this for is when I've dipped my brush in acetone, like I'll either dab it off a little bit, or after I've dragged it through my nail to clean up, I wipe the excess polish off on this piece of paper towel. This is the one I have currently at my nail station. You can see they get a little bit messy. I don't know why, I just prefer using the paper towel. I've tried doing it on like cotton rounds and stuff like that, but the fuzz can kind of get in the brush. The paper towel is like lint free, or it doesn't really get lint anywhere. And then once I've used up one side fully, I flip it over and use the other side. And then I turn it inside out when the other two sides get too bogged down. And then once it's completely like drenched, then and only then do I throw it away. I don't know why. It's just like for years, it's always been specifically a twice folded paper towel, or else I cannot function. The next thing I have to bring on my trips with me is a pair of cuticle nippers. Now, I do not cut my cuticles. I use a solvent to remove the excess cuticle, like the dead piece, but I would never cut my cuticles with this. I use this for on the sides of my nails. Sometimes like the skin gets really dry there. I don't know if it's just because I work in an office or the way I file my nails like pushes skin off or what, but like a lot of times just the start of what could potentially be not a hangnail, but like, you know, when that same phenomenon happens on your skin, that starts to happen. And if I don't snip it off, it will start to peel up and bleed, and it's very painful. No matter how much I oil my nails, this happens. So I think it's just a me thing. So I always have to have, I'm getting one right now. I always have to have these because every 2 days or so, I have to cut that. And it's not live skin or anything like that. It is dead and dry skin, but it's just to prevent a really painful thing from happening to my hands. So I do like to, if I'm going away for more than a couple days, have a pair of cuticle nippers with me. Then I always bring one orange wood stick or wood stick. I don't know if this is technically an orange wood stick, but I like these. They're handy. You can use them for a lot of things. The flatter side you can use to push your cuticles back. The pointy side, when I inevitably flood my cuticles at least once, I just take this pointy side and run it through the cuticle and remove all that excess polish before cleanup, and that makes it just a little bit easier. They're a really convenient and cheap tool to have in your arsenal. And of course, at least one cuticle oil. I mean, this is not just a trip thing. This is an all the time, everywhere thing. I've got one in every single bag I own, I swear to God. I always have cuticle oil with me. If I don't, you know there's going to be a problem. So I just tossed one in there because this one I haven't used almost at all. You can see that most of the lavender one is in there, but I've used up a couple of my cuticle buddies. I really like these. They're super convenient, and I have been tossing these into all my bags recently, and they do not leak at all. At least I've never had an issue. Whereas with the pens and stuff like that, certain bottles I have. So definitely swear by these. Check out my oil video if you haven't already. So now we're down to like the bottles of stuff. So of course you got to bring at least a base coat. I always bring one, and I bring the Orly Bonder because this is my favorite. It adheres the longest on my nails. And when you're on vacation, as much as I do love painting my nails, I don't want to constantly be dealing with chipped nails, because the second one nail chips, I like to take everything off. I don't know, it just makes me feel like weird if I have a chipped nail. I don't know why I feel like everyone's staring at me being like, look at that filthy girl. Even though if I see somebody with chipped nails, I'm just like, I don't care. So I'm sure that that's just an anxiety thing. But yeah, I always bring the Orly Bonder with me. And then I bring one top coat, and my current fave for well over the past year has been the Glisten and Glow top coat. And this one it's about half full. I will definitely refill it before I go so that it just has like the complete freshness going. I have a couple refills, so I will easily be able to do that. And then of course, the actual fun part, the polishes. So like I said, there was a Topic Tuesday about this last year or maybe the year before even, and it was about what 3 polishes would you bring on a trip, and I told you the 3 that I was most often bringing with me. And I feel like my outlook on that has changed, mostly because I don't really travel for work anymore too, so I have like a different perspective on the polishes I want to bring. But I will say I like to bring 3 every time, because I feel like 3 is a good number, because it's enough that you can make a choice, I guess. Like, you feel like you have a choice, but at the same time, you're not overwhelmed and bogged down and bringing half your collection with you. And 3 is a reasonable amount that I could wear for the duration of, say like a week long or 10-day long vacation. And yet, if I didn't wear all 3, it wouldn't be that big of a deal either. So the 3 I've chosen in here are for my upcoming birthday trip in September. Now this isn't set in stone, but I'm more than likely going to take these specific 3, and I have reasonings for all 3. So the first one, this was actually in my 3 that I would take on holiday before, but I stand by it. It's Essie's Chinchilli. I feel like it's so adaptable. It's just an easy like palette cleanser-y type of polish, and it's like, who would I be if I didn't shill this polish? So this is definitely one that I'm going to take because, I might want to have like a more toned down nail for some reason, or just like a more neutral nail on my trip for my birthday. And so I picked that one. It's kind of like my when in doubt polish. You just go with something a little bit more tame, a little bit more plain, but it's still very cool. The next one is Wildflower Lacquer's Stolen Flame. This came from a recent polish pickup, the periodic table one, and I think I even said this when I hauled it, but it looks a little bit purpley, but it's definitely a jewelly blue. And because I'm a September baby, my birthstone is a sapphire. And I just remember Bonita Juanita, who used to do nail polish content here on YouTube, she would, for her birthday, she was also born in September, she would only wear sapphire colored nail polishes. And so I just thought, you know what, let me do that. Let me wear a sapphire for my birthday. So I was definitely, when this one came in and I put on my nails, I was like, that's the one. So this is probably going to be the one that goes with me. I reserve the right to change my mind before that. It's not for like 3 more months, but it's probably going to be this one. And the last one, it may come as a surprise. It is a hollow. This is Holo Taco's Electrostatic, right? Yep, Electrostatic. And I was like, I know I want to wear a hollow or bring a hollow with me because it's probably going to be very sunny, and I think it would be kind of fun, all the lights reflecting and stuff like that. But I couldn't decide if I wanted to go like black hollow or purple hollow, because I am a big purple queen. And then I just decided to compromise because, no shade, but Holo Taco's Electrostatic does lean a little bit purple. It's not like the true black hollow that I think that we expected. And so I was like, well, we'll just compromise and we'll just use Electrostatic. So that one is probably coming with me as well. So that's everything that I will be bringing with me on the coming trips this year. Let me know down below if you guys have any like must brings on your trips. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me know about that. And let's get into the things that I don't bring, I never really bring, I just don't see a point in bringing for me personally. Now, the first one is going to be a mat. I'm talking like the nail art mats and stuff like that. They're really convenient, and you know, if you have a spill or something, it's a lifesaver. But I have never really found that I needed one on a trip. Usually they have like newspapers and stuff lying around, so if I'm really worried, I'll lay something like that down. But I'm extra careful when I'm painting my nails in the hotels, and so I just never felt like it was a necessity to bring one of these. I don't like, as I'm folding them up, I don't like folding them up or anything like that, and so I'm always afraid that it's going to get damaged in my suitcase somehow. And it's not like they're super expensive. I could just buy a new one, but like, why be wasteful if I don't have to be? I don't know. I guess I just don't, I've never felt the urge to bring one with me. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe if I had like a mini one, I know some brands sell like little itty bitty mini ones, but then it's like my hands are so big, it's not even going to fit on the mini one. So I don't know. The next thing I never bring on an extended trip is any sort of cuticle solvent or cuticle dissolver. I tend to prep my nails fully before I do my manicure that I'm going to wear on my way to the trip. So I don't feel the need to dissolve my cuticles every single time I do my nails. Usually it's once every week to 2 weeks. I just don't have them growing that fast that I would need to do them any more frequently than that. And, you know, as much as I love painting my nails, it just feels like an extra step that I'm adding when I should be out and about, you know, having a good time on my vacation. The next thing I refuse to bring with me on any vacation is anything that's kind of like any specialty extras or treatments or anything like that. And what I mean is, you know, like I don't bring glitter grabber. I won't bring any extra top coats. So like no matte top coats. I won't bring quick dry drops because I use a quick dry top coat. And while they're really nice in conjunction, it's just an extra I don't need. And I don't bring like my nail plate dryer or anything. It's extra space. These are extras that are adding like a quality of life to my manicure, but they're not a necessity. So I just choose not to bring them along. There's no problem with bringing these. They're all helpful. They're all nice items, but I just don't feel like taking the additional time to use them. And so I just skip them. I just feel like a base coat and a top coat are enough to get me by. That's how they did it in the dark ages, so. And the last thing that I just never will see myself bringing on a trip is any type of nail art. Now, if I wore press-ons, it might be different because I could prep all that art on the press-on nails and then just swap the press-ons on the vacation. But, you know, as it stands, in the US, we get a very small amount of PTO. Vacations are very expensive. Even now, stuff is kind of up in the air on whether you can go or not. So it's like, I just want to take advantage of the time I have and not be fussing over like any kind of nail art in my hotel room when I've, you know, got things to do. So I just choose not to do any kind of nail art when I'm on vacation. All my nail art is mediocre anyway, so I just feel like it wouldn't really add any value to the enjoyment of my vacation, you know? But yeah, those are my things that I always bring and the things that I will never bring on a vacation with me. Let me know if you guys have any overlap, or like I said, if there's anything that you think I missed that I should be bringing on vacation and I just completely forgot to mention. I would really appreciate that because I don't want to miss it while packing. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts and I will see you in the next one. Bye.